Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute. This is gonna be the first video that I'm filming since I don't even know how long. Obviously it's been a long time since I've uploaded anything, but I figured I would start 2025 by talking about some of my least favorite books from last year because I plan to do my most surprising, most disappointing, and of course my favorite books from the year, and figure might as well start with the worst to just get that out of the way. And some of these are booktube darlings. Some of them are series that I would probably consider rereading, so we'll kind of talk through that. But just from my experience this past year with these books, I would consider them, as of today in this moment, to be the least enjoyment I got out of reading in the last year. Caveating all of this because this first book that I'm going to bring up is just so beloved, and that's going to be Before They're Hanged by Joe Abercrombie, which I feel like I don't know, reading this book just felt like torture, and I feel like that's ironic considering the content of the book. But this was the book that made me just really reconsider ever reading a book by a man, because I don't know, just something about this and what men tend to focus on with battle scenes and war and absolutely no emotion in the writing. There is a lot of sarcastic wit, and I really liked Glokta as a character. I don't know, and I just think maybe this could have been like a mood thing. Maybe it was just the wrong time to pick up the book, because there has definitely, as you'll see in some of my surprising videos, books that I read before and then reread and had a bigger appreciation for them. So hopefully I'll come back to this one day, but as of this past year, I did not like reading. I think I might have even given it 4 stars just because I was terrified, but it's probably a 2 as of this moment. Like, thinking back on this book is just, it's so upsetting because it's so popular, and it's upsetting because I love giving in to popular things and liking popular things, and I was not able to do that with this, unfortunately, for all the reasons aforementioned. So let's move on. We only have 5 to talk about today, so luckily it's not a whole lot of the worst, but I do have a lot of disappointing, as you'll see. The 4th worst book for me is going to be The Changeling by Victor LaValle, mostly because, and again, I have a whole plan for my reading this year that I think is going to improve my comprehension and I'll get into all that with my goals video, but I just did not enjoy anything about this book. I didn't enjoy how it was written. I didn't enjoy the characters. I felt like it was kind of oddly paced. I do think that authors should take risks, and I feel like taking risks is important because so many books are just like copy and paste and have the same tropes and stuff. So like, it is, sometimes the risk pays off, sometimes it doesn't pay off. For me, the risk did not pay off. I am still interested in reading more by him, and again, even rereading this book, because I feel like that could be a whole video in and of itself of talking about rereading books and being in the right mood and all that. But I couldn't remember anything about this book, but I just remember feeling like there was nothing, I gained nothing from it. That feels mean, but that's just how I feel. Okay, and then the 3rd worst is going to be These Violent Delights. It is a 2 star as well, and for me with this one, I was so excited for this because this is Cassandra Clare's publisher, which you can see and I would think that this is kind of odd because it's the opposite of the First Law situation where I was so annoyed by there not being any emotion. I feel like this was like kind of dramatic. It was kind of like I expected to get a fantasy or a mystery. Like, I would have been okay if we got a satisfying mystery, and I feel like there were a little bit of like good horror elements. It was so long ago that I read this, so I'm trying to remember again anything about it. These are books that I want to like wipe from my memory. I mean, I just really thought like a historical fiction, like romantic thing would be up my alley for sure, based off of other books that I love. I do think that this narrator is not my favorite, and I listened to the audio, so maybe one day I would again physically read this. I think I actually tried to start it physically, but it wasn't satisfying to me as a fantasy. It wasn't satisfying to me as a romance. It wasn't satisfying, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel like there was much payoff to anything. And I want to say I tried to start the 2nd book and just, So unfortunately that one is going to be a no from me. And then this next one, this is my second worst book. It's going to be The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I have this absolutely lovely, beautiful copy of because I was just so sure I would love it. I think I have discovered through my dislike of this who I can trust going forward on BookTube. Because there are certain booktubers that I love their content, but I don't love the books that they love, and I have to remember that. This was just so nonsensical, and again, I guess I really need there to feel like a satisfying conclusion to a story if it's going to be. I know this is a series, I won't be continuing the series. This one I would probably watch the movie and see if I like feel like it translates better that way, but personally I did not enjoy this book. Again, listen to the audio, but it's Stephen Fry, so like I feel like he would have done all the correct inflections and everything. So it was just too silly. I mean, but I love a silly book. I guess humor is subjective, and this is a really popular book, so I guess people keep telling me certain books are hilarious, and then I pick them up and don't find them funny. I would like to think I have a good sense of humor, so I guess I just need to find. I don't know. I would love. That'd be a good project for me. I feel like that'd be a good video essay I could do on books that I find funny and maybe trying to get recommendations for that. I do think I laughed a couple times, but I felt like it was only humor that the book had to offer, and I guess I just need a little bit more. And that's just my personal opinion. And then when I looked at this list and I had to think like what was the book that I enjoyed the least, this was definitely number one for me, and it's The Shining by Stephen King, which I had previously watched the movie years ago. I watched the movie and did not hate it as much as this book. So I don't know if, again, it's a mood thing. I don't know if it's I don't know. I do remember, I just felt so whatever about the movie. I didn't think the movie was incredible. I didn't think the movie was terrible. I just thought it was a movie that didn't evoke a reaction out of me. This book, again, it didn't really evoke a reaction. I mean, I just remember feeling like I was reading this book forever and tired of it. So again, I just listened to the audio for this. There are other books this past month that I listened and read along physically, and that is sort of the plan going forward, which again, I'll talk about in my goals video. But for right now in this moment, I would say that The Shining is definitely, I have also read Pet Sematary, which was like a 3.5. I know Stephen King has a huge backlist, so I'm sure that he has written something that I will enjoy. My theory is that it's going to be Misery, which I only want to watch because of Kathy Bates, but that's a whole other topic. So I couldn't really tell you anything about The Shining other than that it takes place in a hotel in Colorado. I do remember thinking that like the movie had way less plot lines to do with the child. There's like a child in the book that has a paranormal power, and I don't think that is explored in the movie at all. I'd be curious to rewatch the movie just to compare, but not anytime soon because I don't, like I said, I don't remember anything about the movie from before, so I just feel. But those are my worst books of 2024. Luckily, it's only 5, so hopefully the next thing you're going to see from me is like disappointing, most surprising, and of course the best, and then of course my goals. So I will leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter all, well, I guess it's not Twitter anymore, my Goodreads, Instagram, I don't really use Twitter anyways, so Goodreads and Instagram, they're in the description if you'd like to check them out. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.